Something's happening more often than it should. Something's happening more times in a row than you expect it to happen. That's a variant, okay? Good things happen here in variance. Multiple good things or bad things happen. Winners expect those kinds of runs. Winners expect patterns to emerge, and they know how to bet. All right, well, here we are in the swan song. This is it. This is number 24 in the Gambling 401 series, the last video of the entire gambling series. I can't believe we got this far. It's unbelievable. Anyway, today we're going to talk about what winners do. And, you know, I read a book when I was a young kid. I don't know how old I was. My parents owned a bookstore when I was young. Anyway, it was called The 10 Habits of Highly Successful People. And interestingly enough, in that book, there was almost nothing tactical. It wasn't about keeping perfect lists or doing this exact thing. It was really mental, right? I think a lot of the success or failure that you see in gambling is mental. And in our top 10 things losers do, most of that was mental. I think today we're going to see that a lot of the stuff that winners do or have in common also is pretty mental. And, you know, here I'll remind you, right? When life hits, and life hits hard sometimes, the loser says, why me? Woe is me. Kick the can, right? The winner, let's go. Try me. I think that's an attitude thing. I think that winners have an attitude. And does the attitude produce better luck? No. Does the attitude produce better results? No. But attitude does help you stay where you got to be, right? I think it helps keep you focused. It helps you from making poor decisions. I think having the right attitude, a winner's attitude, a confident air about yourself, keeps you in the right mindset to win and not to make potentially bad mistakes. Anyway, here we go. In no particular order, these are the top 10 or so things that I think winners in the casinos and gambling winners in general have in common. So the number one thing here, they know their shit. And what I mean by that is they know their game inside and out, every bet, every payment, where things go, how the game works, the mechanics of it. They know the odds, they know the probabilities, they know all the math, and they know how to play the game. And that's sounds simple enough, but it takes years of practice at these games. Even the simplest games like Baccarat, you got to practice, know what's coming, know how the cards play, know what makes a player or a banker hand win, know card counting in blackjack like the back of your hand, right? Understand all the bets and craps on a roulette table. Knowing your stuff gives you the confidence to just execute. You don't have to think, right? You can be kind of a machine when you know your stuff, okay? I think that a winning gambler, by the same token, is not just a one-trick pony. Like, I love craps, right? My YouTube handle is Pro Craps. I have a channel all about craps. But I play Baccarat, I play roulette, I play blackjack, I play other games, and I know them well, like really, really well. And I've got multiple play styles that I can do within the games, right? Roulette, I can play big spread, small spread, high stack, low stack, whatever I need to do. On craps, I can go light side, dark side, short game, long game, big stack, small stack, right? I have lots of ways to go after things. Bach and blackjack, I have negative and positive progressions. I can play any style at any game, and I'm confident in it. I'm well practiced in more than one discipline because that lets me, you know, maybe I'm not feeling craps today. Maybe I walk up to that table and it's just not the right energy vibe, but I still have my paycheck to make. I'll flip over to Baccarat or roulette and still make my hay, just at a different game that I'm also a boss at. And I think that winners aren't just locked into one thing. They aren't myopic, right? And I think it's an important thing that you're well-rounded and you're well-practiced, okay? I think winners also have happy feet. This is an important one, right? They know when to walk away. They know when to run. And sometimes you walk away a winner. Like as an example, my daily paycheck showed my win goal for the latest episode was $1,500, right? I won, I think, $1,275. And I was like debating with my live show with the folks watching, like, do I go? I mean, I'm still 100 and a quarter or whatever off my win goal. Do I keep playing or not? Like, what do I do? And honestly, the winning gambler says, you know what? We made our money. Let's get out. We didn't get the full goal, but we got damn close to it. And we're not going to chase that last little bit. I know when to walk, and I walk when the walking's good, right? Sometimes I run. Like, if we're hitting the home run, how many times have you hit a home run, right? Shooter makes 5-6 passes, right? 30 something rolls on the craps table, or the roulette's just sitting in that dozen for you all day long, right? You notice this amazing run and it ends, which they all do. And you go, let's do that again, right? No. The winner walks. The winner runs from that table. He's like, hey, I got my money. I am running the hell out of here with all the profit. Winners are not ashamed of winning, right? There's no shame in walking away a winner. There's no shame. I'll give you a simple example. In craps, you go out there, $44 inside, and you take a $15 win. There's no shame in taking that $15 back to your rack, the $14 back to your rack, and same betting it. There's no shame in that. Some people think you have to press, have to build everything up. No, take money off the table. Winners know when to walk. And sometimes walking means pulling money off that table as you go. It's an important thing. It's a small facet of it, but losers will unnecessarily press the gas pedal. Winners love their money and they take it whenever they get a chance to. I think by the same token, winners don't chase bad days. And here's the deal. Bad days are inevitable. They're going to happen, right? There's no way you're going to win 100% of the time. It's just impossible, right? The casino's got the edge on you anyway. Nobody's that lucky, honestly. You can be lucky and win a lot more, maybe more often than you should. Nobody's doing it 100%. The bad days will happen. Here's the thing. Winners own that. Like they know it's going to happen. I'm going to go out there. Again, I run a show called Daily Paycheck every day on Casino Gaming TV, right? I go out every day. Some days I'm buying in for $5,000 because I've won so much previously, right? There's days where I go $5,000 and I put the whole thing out there and I just pop a quick 7 and I'm done. Like, oh crap, lost it, right? I accept that that's going to happen. Mathematically speaking, there's no way that I can win 100% of the time. But I also know that when I shake it off and I go at it the next day, what ends up happening most likely is you lose 1, you win 4. You lose 1, you win 4. And if you're betting at the proper levels and you understand your math and you know your games, you can lose 3 and you can win 1,000 4 times. You can lose 2,500, win 1,200 4 times, right? If you're got your levels right and you're doing your thing, you can shake off a loss. You can own the loss. You can accept the loss and allow yourself, your system, right? Your ways of playing, your approach to cover yourself and be okay with that. Don't chase it. Losers always chase that. And they're like, I'm going to the ATM to fix this. It's got to turn around at some point, right? Losers, we talked about falling a fallacy. Winners never do that. Winners, hey, it happens. We don't chase it. We accept it and we own it. Okay. And again, on those lines, right? Number 5 here, winners have a plan. They have a plan, probably many plans, right? That you can switch and bob in between. Maybe some days a plan just feels right to you, right? Or maybe the conditions dictate a certain way of play. Sometimes your bankroll dictates a certain way to play. But as a winner, right, you have a plan, you execute it, and you accept the result. Some days, like I said before, aren't your day. You accept that. Some days, boom, boom, it happens so fast you don't even blink. I've had days where I've won my goal in 2 rolls of the dice. And I'm like, wow, that was an hour drive and I made my goal in 18 seconds. Well, guess what? Bye-bye, right? Executed plan, accepted the result, and got out of there. Winners, I think also a trait that I see is that we have both static and dynamic plans. And what I mean by that is static means I'm going to go in, I'm doing this thing. I'm going to make this exact bet X number of times, and I'm going to walk. I'm not going to change. I'm going to let the math do what it does, let the probabilities do what they do. I'm just going to hit my thing, and I'm going to walk on out of here. Okay. A lot of guys that play like a 3-point molly on the craps table, that's just what they do, right? It's a static plan. I'm not going to change. Let it happen. Some days I win, some days I lose, and that's cool. As long as you're losing less than you win, right? And you win more often than you lose, you're fine. You can be dynamic as well, right? It ain't going my way. I'm going to switch to this other thing. My bankroll has shrunk or grown to a certain point where I'm playing now with a shorter stack. I'll adjust my play. I have multiple plans, multiple ways that I can attack something. If I see a trend or a variant that I like, I can switch up from plan A to plan B to try and hopefully stay on the little streak that's happening, right? That happens. Winners have that ability to bob and weave, right? But we work at it, right? Winners are machines. They've worked their strategies. They're tested, they're tried, they're true, they're ingrained. And we can easily make those decisions to hop around and make the thing that we want to happen, hopefully happen. So winning, I think, comes with planning. It's a big part of it. Winners also very situationally aware. Um, they understand the moment that they're in. They have a play they can switch to. Okay. They make informed decisions on whether to switch or stick where they are. And I think this is one of those things where it's kind of a feel, right? A lot of the math driven players will say to you, it doesn't matter the situation because what already has happened has already happened. And I'll agree 100% on that, right? What's happened in the past has happened, has no bearing on what's about to happen. However, in the moment, when you're getting thumped, right? What we say is things like, when you're getting punched in the face, maybe cover your face, right? If you keep getting hurt, leave, right? That's a situation that you're aware of. And if you're getting your tail kicked at a table, you know, unless your plan is to chase with bankroll, then get out of it or switch into a different style of play for a little while until things come around, right? Making informed decisions is what's important here and saying, look, based on what I'm seeing in front of me, my rack is at this level, my bankroll is at this level, or whatever's happening, I'm going to make a decision based on the situation that I'm in. That's a winner move. Loser move is just going, well, I don't know what the hell's happening, and we're just going to rail dump and try something. We're going to switch completely because I saw a video once that said that, right? Be aware and be informed on your decision making for sure. And again, I think this kind of ties in, right? Number 7 here about embracing variance. Remember this, you're always in a variant. You're never, ever, ever. And I thought that this was a BS statement until a mathematician corrected me on this. You will never see in your lifetime 36 perfect rolls of the dice where it fills the pyramid out. You'll never see in your lifetime 38 rolls on a roulette table in a row where every number hits once. It just won't happen, right? And because it doesn't happen, something has to repeat, right? You're never going to go red, black, red, black, red, black for the whole 36 or 30 rolls. Something's going to go in a sequence, right? You're always in a variant of things that aren't going exactly as you expect. Always in a variant. Something's always off. Something's happening more often than it should. Something's happening more times in a row than you expected to happen. That's a variant, okay? Good things happen here in variance. Multiple good things or bad things happen. Your plan might just be, I'm betting black all the time, and you get stuck in one of those rolls or those sequences or the variant where it's nothing but reds. It's 10 reds in a row and you get wiped, right? Bad things can happen. You could have also been on red and just rode that little wave into the sunset, right? Winners expect those kinds of runs. Winners expect patterns to emerge, and they know how to bet that takes advantage of those things, right? If it's not going your way, you might bet a little bit lower until it goes your way and hope it keeps going your way and kind of increases you go. You might actually find a way to attack I hate to say the word trend, but attack the sequence that's coming or attack the variant that you're in. Okay. Winners can sense that sort of thing and sort of make a quick little adjustment to what they're doing. If it feels like it's going choppy, you can bet a chop a certain way until it ends and then switch back to something else. And sometimes it's chop, 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 3 in a row, and off you go. You can't predict it, but you can bet in a way that takes advantage of it. And again, if you've practiced and you know your game and you know what's up, you can sense, feel, and make that switch or make the call to ride out a certain thing on a very strict pattern. I think when you embrace the variance, it's a difference maker. And I think winners embrace it. Losers get surprised by it and they get bit by it. So that's a big difference there. Really study that. Number 8, I think winners also have control over their money. And this is an important thing, right? They manage their bankrolls well. In other words, you manage your master bankroll, what's in your bank account, well. That bank account is stuffed full of money that you don't need to live with. We've talked about this in previous shows, right? You're going to take some percentage of your income or your excess or whatever, your side hustle money, that goes to your gambling account. You never spend anything but that, right? You're in control of that. You're in control of how much you buy in for at a table session. You're in control of how much you bet in a series or in a spread of bets, okay? You manage that like a boss when you're a winner, and it never is a question. You never burn money unnecessarily because you know what you've got at risk, okay? You execute money management perfectly in every facet of it, from your bank account to the session to the series. You manage your bank and your money properly. You're making betting decisions based on your current bankroll. Winners know where they are second to second, percentage and dollar wise. There's never a question. You're never going, wonder how we're doing over here. Winners know where they're at. They know what their next move is based on where they're at. And I think this is an important point, number 9 here. Winners don't gamble. And that's going to sound weird because, of course, every bet you make at a casino is a gamble, and we call it gambling, right? So that's kind of what it is by definition. But what I mean by this is this. When you gamble, you're saying, I'm going to put this much money out there, right? In hopes that the thing I'm betting on happens and I get paid back. You're risking money to win a reward. You're risking money. You may lose the money if the reward doesn't, or the condition doesn't happen to win you the thing. That's okay. That's what gambling is. But winners don't gamble. And what I mean by that is this. The winner is in tune, first of all, with their own level of risk tolerance and their risk appetite. That goes both ways. You might be scared of risk or you might want some risk, right? You know what that is. And a winner never gambles outside of those boundaries that they've set. Whatever my risk appetite is, I'm not going to gamble outside of that. Even though I can be aggressive sometimes, I'm not going to go extra, right? If I'm super nervous and some days I am super nervous because my bankroll is low, I'm not going to gamble outside of where I'm allowed to be on that session, right? That's what I'm saying. I'm going to gamble, of course, but I'm not going to gamble. I'm not going to go after, right? And put a lot of risk on a very small chance to catch it all back or to catch a big run. It just doesn't happen. Winners just don't do that. Winners don't gamble. And that's an important, it's a weird nuance to the word, but think about that. We don't gamble. We make plays that are reasoned through, that have good math behind them, and that are more likely to win than lose most of the time. So although you can't control the outcome, you can say with a relative degree of confidence, 82, 3, 4, 5, 9, 90, whatever the percentage of time is, this bet's going to win. Yes, I'm gambling against that 8 to 12% that I'm going to lose, but I'm not going to do that and also risk my house. And that's the biggest difference, right? Winners don't pure gamble. Winners also have a tendency or a knack to hammer advantages. Okay, winners will seek out and find every actual, and I put that in bold, every actual advantage that they can find. And they'll seek to exploit the advantage. And I'm talking about things like card counting, right? It's the one place in the casino where, given the proper deck, the proper situation, you can card count to an advantage. Now, a winner can spot that. They can spot the 3 to 2 blackjack that hits on soft 17. They can spot the 2 to 4 hand spun decks. They can see the deck penetration. That's the average. They can spot a winning game or a beatable game or exploitable game and go, okay, I can count. I can see that the deck is hand dealt. I can count the cards that are through it, right? And the rules are favorable to me. That's an advantaged play that a seasoned blackjack player is going to go after. Bach, the same thing. There are different rules in Bach at different places. The shoe size are different. How they're shuffled is different. Are players touching them or not? There's many, many things you can look to advantage play, especially if you can count the Bach cards. You can get some advantage there, right? If you're seeing sectors at play on a roulette table because the croupier is doing something interesting, okay? If you're, and I don't want to start a can of worms here, but if you're a DI or you're playing with DIs, there's a potential advantage in there for short periods of time. Sports bettors claim to have advantages by how they bet, right? A winning player seeks that stuff out and they've practiced it and they recognize it and they know the nuance to it, right? They aren't watching YouTube videos or reading books and thinking they have an advantage in trying something. They have an advantage because they practiced it. And when the situation arises, they can hammer the advantage. But, and the last point here is important, winners don't overplay their hand. Okay. The bane of many, dice influencers is they think they're great. They think they have an advantage and they way overbet their skill level or their perceived skill level, right? Or the randomness of the table. I've seen card counters go all in crazy because they think they've got the hammer right now. When you don't overplay your hand, but you're aware of the advantage and you can attack it tactfully, that's a winning move. And it's a thing that losers hope for. Winners expect it. And winners wait and wait and wait. And when they see it, off they go. That's the mentality that I was talking about at the beginning of the show. Okay. Also, I think this is a big one too. This is about your mental state. Okay. Winners are professionals. And what I mean by that is they carry themselves. They exercise good etiquette at their tables, right? They're good tippers because they realize, right? if you're a professional and you're, a good person or whatever, I hate to say it like that, you know that your dealers are working for you. They're servicing, right? You're a good tipper. You're a good table mate. You're not a standoffish, douchebag. You're not mean. You're not sourpuss. You're enjoying the moment. You're with your people, and you're a good table mate. You're respectful to the game, the casino, and your people. You're sober, and you're clean. You're not got crap everywhere. You aren't smoking a cigar and flicking ashes all over the place, right? When you are these things, respectful, sober, clean, right? You're making good decisions. You're in the moment. You're not sloppy. You're not a mess. You're not distracted. You're here. You're right here, right? Winners are there to kind of do a job. They aren't there to, enjoy the atmosphere. They're there to do a job. So they are respectful. They tip well. They're good table mates. They obey the rules of the road, so to speak, right? And I think by doing that, you carry yourself here instead of here, right? And when you're here and you're in the moment, right, this becomes a weapon, right? This becomes a weapon. And it's all about being professional. It's about being this guy, right? Not that guy. It's a big difference in how you play and how you're perceived and the energy and vibe. I'm not a believer that energy or vibe changes the outcome. I know some people are. I don't buy that. I do buy in, however, that your energy and your vibe definitely affects your ability to make good decisions, right? And keep you focused in the moment. Okay, the last thing I'll say about this is that winners don't get emotional. And this is an important bit, right? We expect, like I said earlier, we expect to win and we accept the loss. We know it's coming, right? The wave might be a lot of wins and then a big loss, and a lot of wins and a big loss. You might do that, right? Winners ride the waves out, right? Hey, it's going to happen. I don't get so excited about the wins and so down about the losses because I know that that's all a part of doing business. The business of gambling is you're going to have that, right? And I think that disassociating myself from the emotion of the big win or the big loss is an important bit. And in fact, and I think I said this on the losers episode, your wins, it's nice to win. We love to win. Your wins don't have to be life-changing amounts, right? Your losses should also not be life-changing amounts. We don't want to be here and here. I want to be here, right? I actually want to be here, right? Up a little bit down, up a little bit down. I want to ride it and take small dips, ride it and take small dips. I don't want to have huge ass $10,000 wins and $18,000 losses, right? I don't want that. That's not part of the business of gambling, right? That would make you emotional, right? We approach the game in a way that's non-emotional. And like I said, disassociated, right? Winners aren't flopping chip porn around there. We aren't taking pictures of our slot tickets because none of that stuff matters. What matters is what goes in the bank. What matters is the experience that we had, that we were a professional in our presentation, and that we got our money back and put something in the bank. I want to make a deposit after every single session. Okay. If I don't get emotional about it. I think that's the thing that separates, I think, me and a lot of what I would call winning professional style players from everybody else is the lack of emotion in those moments. Because I think if you get emotional, you're doing something incorrectly. You're winning too much, losing too much, and you're just all caught up in it. Okay. Come at it from a stable point. Okay. Now, I did take the liberty of talking to some of my fellow YouTube friends and some of our subscribers. And I said, hey, we're going to do an episode on ways to win. What are the things that makes winners win? What is the thing? And I asked them for some of their thoughts. Here's some of their thoughts. I'll close you out here with the last few things from everybody else. The first two here come from a guy, Dylan. He's the channel is Skill and Luck. He's part of Craps Chat, big part of the community. These two things to me, I think, are critical pieces, right? He said, bring the correct bankroll and at the same time, know what your bankroll is capable of. Now, let's take the home runs out of it, right? Yes, I could bring $300 to a craps table and catch a monster roll, 55 roller, and turn the $64 I was going to start with into $5,000. I've done that a number of times, right? My bankroll, though, typically $300 is not capable of that. $300 is capable of, in a normal session, under normal conditions, winning about $100, $150 maybe, losing a couple hundred, right? That's what it's going to be in that zone, right? $300 is able to win that much. Keep that in perspective. what your bankroll is capable of. And if your goals are different than that, bring the correct bankroll to hit the goal you need to. That's a big piece, right? Not matching your bankroll to your goal and your bankroll to your play style, huge mistake, right? Winners never make that mistake. We say this a lot too. Be ready on your next bets, right? Winners are practiced. They're machines. They know that on a roulette table, when I have 2 dozens and a street bet, I know what's going to pay when the street comes. I know what's going to pay when the dozens come. My next series of bets is already ready. If I win, this little stack's going out. If I lose, this bigger stack's going out. I'm going to scoop in the wins. I'm going to put those chips right back out. I am ready to go. And craps, I use my rail to be ready to go for my next bet. I'm never confused about what's going to happen next. Okay, that's a winner move. Be ready. Winners also ease in. They're looking around. They're checking the stacks. They're seeing, are people winning or losing? Is the shoe going south? What's happening in this moment here? And they make decisions to buy in or not buy in based on what they see, right? They don't just walk up. How many times you see a person just kind of walk by, see a craps table, and just whip out $1,000, walk up and to throw a bet down, like not having any idea what's going on, right? Not that I think that a cold table will stay cold, but at least get a sense of energy, vibe. How's it going, right? What does a table surface look like? Winners look at that kind of stuff. Like, where can I stand? What's the table surface like? The dealers that I like here. All those things matter, right? Ed Robinson wants me to remind you to qualify your shooters, right? If you're playing with yourself, make sure you're throwing good today. If you're playing with people that you know are shooters, make sure they're on their game. Watch them go. Let them get a couple numbers before you start blasting on them, right? If you're looking at people who are just hucking and chucking and you don't care, that's a different story, right? But if it matters to you, and again, it doesn't matter to everybody, but if it matters to you, make sure you're taking a look and not just going, oh, here I go, and dropping the paycheck out there, right? Craig from Old Bay Craps says, give your bet to short leash. I love this advice, okay? In other words, let's say you're playing craps and you've got a 6 and you started at $30 and it hits. And okay, great, $30 6, that's awesome. Take it to $42. Cool. Hits again, great, 50 for 1. I got money in my rack and I'm doing great. I got a $42 bet sitting out there. And then the shooter goes 5, 9, 3, 11. They're off. It's not coming, right? Craig says, give your bets a short leash. You press up a bet, doesn't hit in 2 or 3 rolls, regress it back down or pull it. Like, let it do its job. You got it up there, which is great, right? 7's looming, right? 7's going to come take your money at some point, right? Give them a short leash, get out of there. There's no law that says you have to keep your bets pressed forever, right? Matter of fact, there's a little bit of a law that says, hey, it's my money on the table. Maybe it should be back in my rack, right? And that's a point from Dice Dr. Dan. Remember this too. Your money is your money. It's on the table. It doesn't mean it's house money. It's your money. I say this a lot. Imagine, and craps is the only game where this happens. Imagine, like in blackjack, for example, right? You win a hand in blackjack, they pay you right there next to your hand. You pull your chips back, right? You have your money. Roulette, they pay you, you have control of your money. You put your bets back out. In craps, you don't. In craps, you don't touch your money. They touch your money. Your money's out there. The dealers touch it. It's a lot going on. It saves time. It also makes it very easy for you to say, press that bet with my winnings, right? You forget that the money that's out there is actually your money. It's not just the tool, right? So think about it like this. If, let's say you had a $30 6 and it pays $35, they give you the $35 right now and you say, take part of that and make the bet bigger. If they gave you back your 30 and your 35 and you had $65 in your hand, what decision are you making with the $65? You're going to take some to your rack, or you're going to put the whole $60 back out there again, right? Think of it that way. Pretend they're giving it to you, and what decision would you make if you had the whole stack in your hand? Would you put it all back out there, or would you let a little bit lesser size of it ride? That's a winner move. Give your bets a short leash and really understand when you can pull that stuff back and embrace the patterns. Patterns emerge all the time. Embrace them, okay? Something else to be reminded of, which is not on screen here, but other people have brought this up. Be satisfied. Be satisfied. Sometimes almost goal is a goal. Sometimes you go down early in a session and you fight all the way back to even. Be satisfied. Remember, I have done this. I have gone in for 1,000 and I've lost 750 in the first 15 minutes. Like, oh my God, we got hammered, right? Fight all the way back to even. That's a win. Think about what happened there. To get to even, I won $750. Now, had that happened when I started, I would be up $750, but as it turns out, that's a win, right? You got to be okay with that. Be satisfied sometimes with what you've accomplished. Take a breath and live to fight another day. That's a winning mentality, right? Not just chasing it up. That's a huge thing. Being satisfied is a big deal. Don't let perfect be the enemy of the good. I've heard that statement before. I've also heard it said something like the enemy of enough, or the enemy of enough is whatever. It's, you know what I'm saying, right? Enough is enough, and if it's not enough and you go, that's potentially going to be a disastrous session. How many times have you chased $10 more or one more hit and it goes bye-bye, right? So take the advice of the other seasoned players out here with some of these items here. Be satisfied, win on the regular, and enjoy the game, right? Ultimately, what I want you to do is enjoy these games, okay? Yeah, winners treat it like a job more than an activity most of the time. Doesn't mean you can't enjoy it. Doesn't mean that when you're practiced and you're machine-like and you're just on rhythm, you're not having fun and not enjoying it. In fact, I would say to you this, because I'm a machine, because I got it all figured out, because I know what I'm doing, I don't have to think so much, I have more mental cycles available to enjoy my people. I'm a better table mate because I'm so freaking prepared. And that's it. That's what winners do. Winners have an attitude about them. I think of all the things that we've said here today, of all the things, right? Winners have the attitude. Winners are try me. Try me. My chest is up. I'm ready to rock this thing out. I am ready to come. I'm ready to fight, and I'm here. I'm locked in. That's the winning attitude. Okay? Winning attitude. Doesn't make your luck change. It doesn't change the results of what's going to happen. It does change how you experience it, emotionless, expectationally, and it does change, I think, the decisions that you make. So have a winning attitude and get after it. And that's what I got here for you. All that said, thanks for watching this entire gambling series from 101 here to the final episode of 401. It's been a pleasure bringing it to you. I feel like I've brain dumped everything I can think of from 30 plus years of experience on you in this series. So hopefully, of the 90 shows that we did on these topics, something resonates and something changes the way that you approach one of the games that you play. All that said, guys, good luck, get after it, and God bless you. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching. Please feel free to leave us a comment here in the comment section for the video, but really better still, join us on Discord. Go to casinogaming.tv and hit the community link in the menu there and join our Discord. That's where me, other YouTubers, and all of our subscribers hang out. We sit there and talk strategy and just BS kind of all day long. It's a great way to get connected and stay connected and kind of interact with the team, learn about meetups and get-togethers and all that kind of stuff. So with all that said, again, thanks for watching. I really appreciate your time. God bless you, and I will see you in the next one.